Okay, guys, we're just going to get right in here. You see me using a seam ripper. This is a very important tool. I do not recommend using scissors. This is just meant to literally take stitches out. It's a sewing tool. You can get it at CVS, you can get it at Amazon, a sewing kit. They are extremely sharp. What we're going to do here is we're actually going to take off this comb. It is a broken comb. And the way that we're going to do that is by first removing the stitches that are holding it in place. This is a very delicate process. You want to go very slow. You want to make sure that you're not ripping or damaging your cap. So that is why I am suggesting that you are using a seam ripper and not a pair of scissors. You will get much more accuracy with a seam ripper. You'll see my fingers get pretty close to the seam ripper. Again, be very careful. It is a sharp item. It's like a little mini knife. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to slide the point of the seam ripper under the stitch, and then you're going to want to actually lift it up. What I'm going to do is I'm actually working on the top of the clip, not the bottom, because again, we don't want to damage or ruin the cap of the wig. And this way, if I go a little bit too deep, it's going to hit the comb. It's not going to hit the cap. Once I've removed a few of the stitches, I'm going to go in there and try to pull the comb away from the cap, as you see here. And that's going to reveal the other stitches and allow me to get in there and actually just gently pull away the stitches. Again, the biggest concern with this, aside from cutting yourself, is you do not want to damage the cap of your wig. So going nice and slow, getting that little needle point under the stitch and lifting up is really the way to go. What we're just doing here is we're just pulling it apart from the wig. I'm going to remove one side and then I'm going to start working my way to the other side. Don't tug the cap too much. Don't tug the clip too much. Just go very slow, very gentle. Make sure you have good lighting and then pull away and the clip will eventually come off. Before I install a new clip, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in and I'm going to just remove all of the excess thread that is sort of left over. And you'll see me getting the hair out of the way. It would help if you had a comb or something to just hold back those little hairs. I think that would definitely be a good idea. Right now I'm just pushing them out of the way to make sure that I don't cut anything. Obviously, if you have a front lace shaitel or if you have a different type of wig, you want to be even more careful. And because this is a shaitel, these combs are laying on the ear tabs. That's exactly where we're working. I'm going to go in, again, clean up the area before installing a new clip. I'm going to get some tweezers and just pluck out those excess threads. We want a nice clean surface, an even keeled surface, and I want to be able to see where I'm going to sew the new clip. One of the biggest mistakes that I personally have made and that I actually see being made with installs of new combs is putting the clips in the wrong way. I have done that so many times. So I usually like to either take a picture beforehand. I know this sounds ridiculous, but you cannot believe how many times I have had to re-sew clips in. You want to make sure you're installing the comb the right way. So I'm here, I'm just like opening it back up and I'm referencing where the other clip is. You can buy these new clips. Again, you can get them on Amazon. They will sell them in packs of 10, 20, 30. I mean, I have tons of them just laying around. And we're going to go ahead and just grab that new clip. They do come in different sizes too, but we're just matching her up with the same size clip that she had last time. And again, I'm flipping the wig over just to make sure that I'm going to be putting it in the right way. Spacing is really important too. I want to make sure that I'm putting it back in where she had it last time. If this is for your own wig, if you wanna, you can use this technique if you wanna move up a comb, if you wanna move it down, depending where you want the hair to grab. Again, I'm doing the client's wish. She wants just the combs replaced in the same spot. And we're going in with a curved needle, and here I'm just showing you how to make the knot at the end of the thread. It's very, very easy. All you do is wrap it around your finger and you literally roll and pull. It's basic sewing. If you guys know how to sew, if you've ever taken home ec or your parents taught you, it's a very, very easy way to make a knot. And I'm just going to trim the end of it. I don't want too much of the thread sticking out on the bottom. I'm using a traditional shaitel thread with a curved needle. The curved needle is really important. You are not going to be able to do this with a straight needle. I shouldn't say that. You probably could do it with a straight needle, but this is going to make your life so much easier. These little curved needles and this thread that is specifically color matched to her hair. They sell the thread in black. I believe they make it in lighter colors. It's a thicker, more heavy duty thread, and it's going to withstand not only her tugging on this comb, but it's also going to withstand basically any washing, soaps, things like that. And what we're doing is we're starting from the bottom and going from the cap underneath the clip. So I'm grabbing some fabric of the cap and I'm going in an upward fashion through the comb. Now, I mentioned before that combs do have different size holes on them. Usually the holes that have those little gold rings or black rings around them that are lifted up will not fit a needle through. If you look on this clip, there's 2 golden rings on the holes. I am not putting the thread through that hole. It is not going to fit. It is too small for my needle. I'm going to come around the back and use the other 2. And I'm grabbing some of the cap. If you'll see me, we don't want to go too deep. We don't want the needle coming out the other side. I'm going through the cap. I'm coming through the clip, just like this. Okay, again, basic stitching, but I said this was going to be an in-depth video, so here you go. And I'm making it go through the hole, kind of like you're tying your shoe. It's making little knots of the clip every time I'm doing this. The reason for this is it's going to give it an extra secure hold. Some people will not do this step. They will just simply keep threading and make a knot at the end. I prefer to do it this way. I like to go in, make a knot, and tighten it up with each stitch that I'm doing. This way, if one of them comes loose, the others are still there. Once I've done this a couple times and I've tacked it down, I am going to go ahead and re-knot my thread. We always want a knot at the end of the thread, otherwise it will just come out. I have enough thread here that I can just keep going, and now I'm going to do the other side. And again, placement is really important. We just want to make sure that the alignment is correct, the clip is correct, and again, we're just grabbing some of that fabric. I know my hand is like blocking the camera. Not exactly the greatest for a tutorial, but we're just going in and we're coming down. Now the first time that you're catching the back, that's where that knot is going to go ahead and grab on. We're just pulling it through once. I'm hoping you guys can see this. I know it's like brown on brown. It might be a little bit difficult to spot, but we're going back in, just catching some of the cap. Let me turn this around for you guys. Catching some of the cap and then going through and pulling it nice and tight. I will do this a couple times. Here we go, sliding it right there. I've grabbed a little piece of fabric and I'm pushing it through. And as I push it through, I'm just pulling it tight, and I'm going to do that again with a knot. Happens to be that you can actually go on some sewing videos if you're very nervous about this. This is a very basic technique. It's not hard. It's not intimidating. The only place that you could really mess up with this is damaging your cap, or if you go too deep when you put the initial needle in. And what I mean by that is, like here, you want to go very shallow, a very shallow stitch. You do not want to go to the other side. Other than that, very basic technique. You could use this with combs, you could use this with clips, basic repair that I think as a wig wearer, anybody should be able to know and anybody should be able to use. And you'll see I'm just making sure the comb is opening, it's closing, it's in the right position, and I'm cutting it nice and close to where I made that knot. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned a couple basic stitches, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much.